Hi family, welcome to the Nana's classroom. Remember, in this classroom we say knowledge is what? It's power. I always say we are feeding our spiritual life. Physically too, you need to feed. Yes, knowledge needs to be acquired so that you can skillfully also, with the help of God, be able to live in this world and become more useful. So in this class, I always say knowledge is power. Tell yourself you're going to acquire knowledge and power as well. Today, we'll be diving through what we call an idiomatic expression in English language. But before we dive in, I would like us to know that the cheapest commodity that we think we have is ignorance. But ignorance is not as cheap as we think it is. To start doing something that you have no clue about, it's still expensive. Topless learning how to smoke. If you're learning how to smoke, it's very difficult also. The stages you go through before your body will accept it, as ignorantly as you think it is very costly. Spend on yourself. Spend on your knowledge. Spend on your brain. And I believe God will assist you. So in today's class, I said we'll be looking at idiomatic expression. What is idiomatic expression? An idiomatic expression can be a form of what? A phrase or sentences that we give, but we don't get the literal meaning. The real meaning, you don't get it. It's mostly figurative. Based on culture, you'll be able to understand what this person is saying, or the message the person is trying to send across to you. We use this kind of idioms in our day-to-day English language, writings, poetry, most especially, short stories, novels, fiction and non-fiction books, and non-fiction articles. We normally would have this idiomatic expression. So we are going to look at some of this idiomatic expression today. One that I would like us to look at is called a chip off the old block. What does that mean? A chip off the old block. It means very like the father. That is what it means. Another one is what? A close shave. What is a close shave? We mean what? A narrow escape. Meaning you were nearly caught. Oh, this is a close shave. Another one is what? A cock and bull story. So a cock and bull story means what? An absurd and unbelievable story, full of lies. You know you didn't do the right thing, or you did something. You're just trying to look for a story that will what? Take you off what? The hook. So the person will say this is what? A cock and bull story. A hard nut to crack. People say, hey, this one is a hard nut to crack. What does a hard nut to crack means? It means what? A difficult person. This person is so difficult. That's why we say the person is what? A hard nut to crack. A nut which is hard to crack. So that is what it means. A skeleton in the cupboard. Hey, this one is a skeleton in what? In the cupboard. The person means is what? A dreadful family secret. We say there's what? A skeleton in what? In the cupboard. So what is the use of a cupboard? We use it to hide things, isn't it? Clothes. So if there's a skeleton in a cupboard, we mean there's what? A family secret that is being what? Hidden. A storm in a teacup. A storm which is also in a teacup. So what does that mean? It means much excitement about something small. A wet blanket. What is a wet blanket? When the person says, hey, this is a wet blanket, it means what? A discouraging person. The moment the person is, hey, it's a wet blanket. We know the person is not here to give any encouraging word, discouragement throughout. So we call the person what? A wet blanket. Then a white elephant. An elephant which is white. Very rare to see an elephant which is what? Which is white. So if you say a white elephant, something useless and expensive to what? To keep. That is what it means. An eye for an eye. This is what? An eye for an eye. Retaliation or what? A revenge. When you want to retaliate or you want to revenge, you don't want to forgive, you want to pay back time, we say an eye for an eye. Others will also say a tooth for a tooth. Armed to the teeth, completely armed. If you are armed to the teeth, you are completely armed. Ammunition is in measures. You are going to push out. Yes, shoot out. Another one I would like us to look at: bite one's head off. When somebody says, "I'll bite your head off," what does that mean? It means answer sharply or angrily. We say in idiom as what? Bite one's head off. Blow one's trumpet. When somebody is blowing his or her own trumpet, what does that mean? The person is so boastful. A boastful person blows his or her own what? Trumpet. By hook or by crook. When someone says by hook or by crook, what does that mean? By fair and foul means. The person will do by hook or crook. This thing must happen. Another one I would like us to look at is crocodile tears. What do we mean when we say there's what? Crocodile tears. It means what? False tears. You are forcing, exaggerating the tears to come out. You are faking it. We say crocodile tears. Another one is what? A debt cheap. You are extremely cheap. When somebody, hey, this one is a debt cheap, you are extremely cheap. Try to be a little bit what? Expensive. We also use idioms like easier said than done. So it means you're easier to talk about than something you do. You always talk, but you don't do it. So we say you are what? Easier said than done. So these are the few idiomatic expressions that I would like us to share. There are more and more. I don't know in your culture which other idioms that you have, or some of the ones that I said might mean different in your own culture. Thank you so much for joining my class. Bye.